Let me start off by saying a big thanks to Adam Plays FIFA for letting me upload this to his or her community channel. Thanks. So what's up guys, LS15 Skills here and welcome to a Let's Talk FIFA 14. Now this game is being very highly anticipated by many, but very few are actually out there talking about it. So I'm here today to discuss with you guys what I know about the upcoming game release and what I want to see in the next game. So first off, let's talk about what I'd like to see. Now we all know about the whole AIDS and bullshit claims that we get all the time, every day in FIFA 13, where those things which shouldn't have happened, have happened. Now that's one of the things I'd like them to fix. Call it scripting, FIFA AIDS, or bad physics engine, whatever you want to call it. I still think it's the biggest load of shit you've ever seen. You know, those lucky rebounds which don't fall to the opponent half the time. In fact, most of the time they go flying off the pitch. Those really annoying things which I hope they fix. And, you know, maybe add in a few more leagues as well, because it's the same thing every time. I guarantee if they placed all the leagues about in the game, sure, it would cost them a lot of money, but they've already got a large audience and it would adapt it even more, because there are some people who don't play the game because maybe their local team or the team they support isn't in the game because, well, they're not in a good league or something. For example, my local team, Newport County, they were in the Blue Square Bets and they weren't in FIFA. Next season they're in Empower League 2 because they've just today won the playoff against Wrexham to bring them into Empower League 2. But some people obviously don't buy the game because people want to buy a football game so they can play with their favorite teams. Say if someone in China, for example, they bought the game and they wanted to play with their local teams, and then they saw there's no such thing as a Chinese league in FIFA 13. Well, why not buy this game? Go on and sell it, they would. If they adapted all of the leagues into it, anyone, anywhere who's a football fan would adapt to it. And there are so many of them out there, yet there's so few in comparison to the huge football fan base out there. Another thing I'd like to see changed is the whole thing in Ultimate Team with fitness, contracts, morale, and all of that, and the injuries, because it's just adding on expense. You know, sure, EA, a company, they need to make money, and they do this through obviously generating money from the game, from packs. But the thing is that packs are becoming a more and more essential thing in Ultimate Team, especially when you've just first started off, because you've got the people who bought the game first hand, played with the shit team, and managed to build their own. But now what you've got is a bunch of sweat teams and people who restart their club are there with these bronze things, and then they'll play offline, and then they'll lose their contracts, and they'll just have to delete their club again because they don't have enough money to buy contracts or to buy a new team, because the prices of contracts, fitness and morale is extortionate. And then you get those random bullshit injuries which apparently no one gets in this game, apart from me, I'll presume. That's another thing I'd like to see changed. Seasons as well. They obviously have the head-to-head game mode where you don't have to go into ranked divisions, you can just play against any random opponent. But people don't tend to use that mode that much because they can't find it. It's in a completely different section. Like, for example, on PS3 it'd be in online modes and custom games and such, whereas you've got divisions or seasons sat there on the front page. You know, if they put like just a normal head-to-head game on the first page, when you went on to seasons or Ultimate Team, everything wouldn't be so competitive, everything would be sweaty, and people start getting angry at a game because everyone's just playing way too competitively. It's quite madness, to be fair, and the amount of people I know, and I'm guilty of it too, had broken controllers, microphones, even televisions for one particular person I know, all over a game because the tension and suspense that comes with playing this game is just way too much, you know? And that's something they need to deal with. They need to put these head-to-head games on the front page or the front menu of the game, so people don't rush into seasons thinking that's the only way they're going to get a game. Start playing competitively to make sure they stay in a division. It's not on. I've gotten to Division 1 myself on both consoles, but it's not fun. It's not a fun game mode when you're coming up against the same team every time, like Real Madrid or Barcelona, or if you're on Ultimate Team. You've got the pace teams of Wellington or Theo Walcott and all the rest of it. It's wrong. They need to add the single matches back into Ultimate Team as well. FIFA 12 was a very good game, you know. It was competitive, but it wasn't so competitive. As soon as KSI ruined the community with that being a cunt video, it seems that, you know, and people can argue all they want that he's made it more popular, but let's face it, people used to tramp it, but now people do it every game just because he made it one video. And because of his popularity, people will follow, and you know, and people will send you those "you mad" messages after a game because they're KSI fanboys. And most people have been in a KSI fanboy stage. But that just needs to change. They need to bring back single matches. They need to bring like ranked matches and non-ranked matches, maybe, just to, for those people who want to go in there and win every match, and for those people who want to experiment with teams, who want to skill. They need to downpower the AI and RB defense so people can actually skill again. Because I like to skill myself, but it's so difficult in the most recent games because people will stand there and just hold RB, and it'll be so difficult to skill unless you're Kazooie or Flude or Gujon or someone like that. It's not on. And career modes would be nice as well, for example, because if you've ever played Football Manager, you'll know that players have a very long career and they don't really tend to deteriorate. But in FIFA, within the first 2 seasons, you got legends like Michael Owen, Ronaldinho, and Gerrard and Beckham. They all just retire, or either that or they're just so bad. I mean, Michael Owen went down to, I think it was a 64, and that pissed me off. They need to make it more realistic because players don't go that downhill. Some players, I mean, look at Ryan Giggs. He retires in like the first season, I believe. That's not gonna happen. That stuff does not happen. And FIFA, that's what they need to do. Because obviously you can have career mode going up to about 15 seasons. But by then, all the good players are already gone, you know? Your favourite players, your memorable players, they're all retired. And you're left with these people who don't exist. They don't have real faces or anything. You're just left with a team full of people who don't even exist anymore. And it's actually quite an upsetting thing to see, to be fair, because obviously people play the game because they love their club and they love to play football and all the rest of it. And then you see your favourite team there, just with none of the players that they currently have, and it's just a depressing thing, really, and they need to work on that. Let's see, is that everything? Yeah, like, and the whole thing about realism and scripting as well. They need to either confess or just change whatever it is which makes people believe this, because they've had so many complaints about the script or momentum or anything. They need, if it's not in the game, come out right and just tell everyone it. Say what it is which causes these things which make people believe in scripting. Like the FIFA 12 Nepenthes video, which is kind of what sparked it off, and it's still about today. People can still go back to that video and quote it for evidence because, let's be honest, it's still around today in FIFA 13. This was not a good game. It wasn't. This was a very, very bad game by EA standards. And I hope FIFA 14 is better. So what do we know already? Right, you've obviously seen screenshots along the video so far. Some things about FIFA, like the new layout of career modes, the new in-game. They've spoken about protect the ball, the new shooting techniques. It seems as though they've mainly focused on attacking, so you can guarantee some more overpowered defending, which will be bad news for us skillers once again. But yeah, those are all the things I'd like to see in FIFA 14. You know, maybe a more realistic scouting system as well, you know. And yeah, maybe even inform managers in FIFA 14 as well. But you know, those are just things which would make the game a hell of a lot better. People wouldn't be complaining about it, especially about this whole scripting thing, which people choose to and choose not to believe. I choose to believe it myself because I've seen it all too many times. But yeah, you know, the improvements listed so far, obviously, career mode, layouts, scouting, shooting, protect the ball, all sorts of things like that. And it seems as though the first touch also once again comes into play. So yeah, this has been NS15 Skills. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment saying with what you would like to see in FIFA 14. Subscribe to Adam, follow him on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.